Welcome back to those who served. Thomas Payne, we got David Elliot, got David Cantrell, Leon Parks, veterans of the Marine Corps, and we're talking about some of the things y'all experienced over there. And I realize there's a lot. We're only getting a smidgen of what went on, but Leon, you said y'all had some close calls, but then you took a scratch early. And how far into your tour was that?
About 3 weeks.
So you'd been there about 3 weeks when that happened. And how long did that put you out of commission?
A few days.
So back on the line. Yeah. Yeah. And then how long was it before deep into your tour when you got hit that last time?
Several months. It was several months into it.
Mm-hmm. And now, Thomas, you got, how long deep into your tour was it when you got shot that time?
I'd been there about 6 months, I guess. Mm-hmm. I just barely got hit through the foot. Out just a few days or a week, stayed in the rear. It was in December, it was right before Christmas. And then went back to the field. And then got hit again in March.
And that's when you got hit?
Yeah, I got hit through the hip and I got medevaced all the way to Japan.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Stayed in the hospital about 40-something days over in Japan.
Yeah, I remember you telling me one time y'all were jumping. You were jumping a ditch, and you saw your leg fly.
we got in an ambush and pulled back to the Quaviette River. We was on the Quaviette River, and we'd been in an ambush since about 9 o'clock that morning.
Lord.
And it was about 3:30, and it was getting bad. There was a lot of wounded and dead. And that captain I was talking about, he wouldn't take many chances. So he pulled back. He told everybody to get back to the river. They called in airstrike, napalm and all that stuff come in. We were just getting almost to the river and got hit. Mm-hmm. I did. Of course, we had a lot of other people that was hurt bad, you know. Yeah. We was getting all them out. Had about 40 or 50 wounded and dead that day.
Yeah, took a shellacking there, but I know me and you talked about it years ago.
Yeah, I just got almost back to the river and just fixing to get down where it'd be fairly safe, you know. And I just remember my feet went out from under me, and next thing I know, there's choppers coming in, getting us, you know, took us to Da Nang.
How old were you when that happened?
19.
19-year-old.
Yeah.
19-year-old. You was a fire team leader at that time?
Squad leader.
Squad leader.
Squad leader then. Yeah. Had 2 guns, and we got the guns, the men was getting them. Well, everybody was just getting back because they know the planes was coming. And the guns got back first, you know. You always try to keep them going. And then me and one of my buddies, this guy from Kentucky, we got almost back there and just started to get down, and I got hit. He didn't get hit, but I got hit. He helped get me out.
Yeah, yeah. Now, tell us a little bit about, and David, I remember him telling me a story. He made it through Vietnam, but then when he got back, there's a nurse going to give him a shot, and he wouldn't let her give him a shot. He said, I've been through Vietnam without a scratch. Ain't no way I'm getting a shot. You ain't never been stubborn, have you?
No,
but
never have.
You was telling us a little bit about some of the folks that you had served with over there and working on the FO team. And FO, you was really a lot of responsibility. All of you had a lot of responsibility.
Yeah,
I don't mean to take away from them, but a good bit of responsibility. And and today, when you see what's going on, do you see those Marines carrying on that same level, and you feel like they've got the same grit y'all had?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do.
It ain't changed a bit.
No, it ain't changed.
I believe our young men serving in all the forces, Russell, have got the character that they
Got
need.
the same thing of men in World War II, World War I,
They're
World War
smarter.
II.
I believe they're
Korean
smarter, but they got to be to run the equipment stuff they got now.
Oh yeah,
All of them
it's
got
just a
character.
different.
You know, they're a lot smarter. You know. But
Yeah.
But the technology of your day, probably those veterans of World War II marveled at the things that was a.
Without
I mean,
a
to
doubt,
call in
sure.
a
Without
to
a
call in
doubt.
a gunship, to
Without a
call in
doubt.
that sort of thing was just amazing. But you made a point early on about the respect you had for the CAV pilots. Tell us a little about that.
Oh, I guess they could branch in anywhere, but they pulled a lot of, and Thomas knows this, they would come in to pick a Marine unit up or anything, and their pilots in the beginning were very limited number, and they had a lot of helicopters, but those guys were, I call them jockeys. They were jet jockeys. I mean, that's about as good as you can clean it up, I guess, because they were something else. But they helped a lot of their forces, whether it was the 101st Airborne at Fubai or wherever. But if they got a call and they were in a proximity of Thomas's outfit getting hit, I mean, if they pulled up on the same frequency, which a lot I didn't understand behind the works, but I mean, they didn't care. They'd zip in, and I respect them. Had a lot of respect for them.
You were telling us a story about got in the pretty thick of it one time, needing to call some in, and tell us a little about that.
About what now?
You said that you had a guy that you was a little he didn't really want to bring his bird in, but you had one come on the radio.
I had told probably Camp Evans, Operation Chinook started the Camp Evans. Okay, we was there through Chinook 1 and part of Chinook 2, and we went from there to Fubai, just south of Way City, and went from Fubai then to Quezon, and I was at Quezon. I spent the last 6-7 months at Quezon, but we was just south of CAC 1 unit, a CAC unit south of Fubai, which that's the farthest south I ever was. But yeah, I'd called. We got hit pretty hard. I had a couple of guys down, and I was calling for medevac for them, and we had several choppers in the area, and you could tell he was young, which. I mean, I don't know whether I set it down or not. I don't know. It was, it was still flying pretty heavy, and it was getting fairly late in the afternoon. And he topped the mountain while he looked off in there, and he said, "I'm not coming in." He said, "There's still bullets flying down there." And I said, "Yeah, plenty of them, And I said, "These guys got to come out of here. I just ain't gonna make it." And he said, "I'm not coming in." I said, "Well, if you can't handle it, get out of the way, if you can't handle your job, we don't need you, I just, miles on the road, what you going to do, send you to Vietnam, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I chewed him pretty good, and he just went on about that time, my voice come on pretty rough, and so the boy said, he said, Charlie 6-4 Alpha, he said, I'm fixing to set my chopper down in there. He said, you throw me a smoke. He said, but when it hits the ground, it's coming out. And we had them ready, and when he bumped with that chopper, he just bumped it and gone. We threw them on, and they left with them,
And that's that character you was talking about.
You've got to. I'll tell you, everybody can't be a combat.
Let me get you hold up a minute. We're going to have to go away to break, but we'll be right back to those who serve. Welcome back to Those Who Serve. Been spending the better part of the last couple hours here with these fellas, Thomas Payne and David Elliot, David Cantrell, Leon Parks, all veterans of Vietnam and of the Marine Corps, and I can tell that esprit de corps. And I appreciate what you said is we were going away talking about those helicopter pilots that came in. Tell us what you finished there as we went off camera.
You appreciate your chopper pilots. You appreciate your man that cooks. You appreciate the man that load your supplies. Everybody's not a combat Marine, or everybody's not a combat. We work close to the Green Beret up at Quezon at Long Bay. They had a Camp Long Bay right on the Laotian border. We worked closely with them people, good people, and I appreciated everything everybody done. If you didn't have new boots when the soles come off them things, you're gonna be barefooted. But somebody had to. Everybody's got a job to do. And it don't matter, I think one man just as important as the next one.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt.
Now, we've talked some serious stuff, and I appreciate that and sharing different things. Some of the funny things that happened. David, tell us some of the funny things that happened while you was in our service. No matter where you was at, Vietnam, where y'all stay, hang on here, man.
Well, probably when Japan, and I don't know if you've ever been to Japan or not, but when it was over in the 60s, the streets, we call them bingo ditches, open sewerage, running along the street. And we get drinking too much. This one old boy I met, he got off in that thing. You talk about a mess. He come out. But that was the good part. Back being in the States, you had to stay respectable. They'd lock you up, you know. But over there, you could unwind a little bit. I mean, you wouldn't go into jail. I mean, they just, as long as you didn't steal in Japan, as long as you didn't steal anything. They didn't care if you drank and if you sat down, if you got where you couldn't go, just sat there on Peasby behind. If you missed pushing the van, take you back to the base. They wouldn't lock you up. You didn't see a cop. But now if you stole it, like a bicycle, now you're going to jail.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way it is. You just don't do that.
Well,
So we knew what not to do, you know.
So did y'all ride back with the old boy after he fell off into the trench?
Yeah, it's shore patrol CPs. They come through and they just load us up and take us back in, you know.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, we got in one night and they had, when you get back to the base, they had a stockade there. If you're kind of bad shape, you know, they just put you in it. Well, a long ways out, get your CO. You have to call him, he'd come get you. And we had a good one in Japan. He was a good lieutenant, you know. So we called him. He'd get up all hours of night and come get you out, you know. They called him out at night. And he told me, he said, I'm going to have to wait the daylight. He's about bad shape with me. I'd stand all right.
Told him in with you, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't come in the morning. So we had to sleep in the night and that thing, you know, before he'd come get us out. But that's the only way out, see.
Yeah.
Then he knew what you
He
got
knew
into.
what you got into.
And then he'd take care of you, you know.
Yeah.
But that's the way he'd handle it, you know. I mean, that's the way we was treated.
We had a guy on here a few months back, and MacArthur got them out of jail down there. Hey, Thomas, tell us now some of the funny things that happened to you while you was inside.
Well, there's several things that was just funny, but you know,
Anything stick out in particular?
probably in boot camp, funniest thing, we had two sets of twins, white. One of them was white, one of them black. Carpenter twins from Virginia. They're just perfect, you know. They done everything. That's the best. They shot the highest score on the rifle range.
Really?
But the Hines boys, their name was Hines. And they was black, and I mean, they was big old stout guys, you know, side by side. You couldn't tell them apart, and they couldn't march, they couldn't learn nothing. That DI, everybody gets punished, you know, for don't matter what. Boy, we used to just give them down the road, you know. We wasn't talking out loud, you know, but it was funny, though, the things that
Better
DI.
them than you, wasn't it?
Well, the DI was getting on to them, and then we laughing at them, you know,
Yeah.
kind of behind the, you know, not out loud. But,
No,
but it went on for 2 or 3 weeks like that. And then finally they kind of got in step, and they done real good.
Got their attention.
We'd cuss them a while, we'd laugh a while, because every time the 90 men had to do push-ups,
On the count, it ain't funny,
side
then, is it?
saddle strap, but them two white boys, they just almost perfect to
Yeah.
be in there, you know, like that.
Now, Leon, you got something that you want to share with?
Well, I've had several things, but one of the funniest things, and I hadn't thought of it in a long time, but I told my sister about it the other day, and I don't mean to be morbid about it, but it was a burial detail. And it was when I was trained in over at Charleston, we were burying a Navy captain. Of course, burial details don't know the families. You know, it's ironic unless the family asked Thomas Payne to come represent, you know, if he was killed in an accident. This Navy captain had died at a natural death. So we were at the cemetery, and I had Sergeant of the Guard, color guards, doing the grave detail. We were there, and I'd called him. I'd pull my sword and called him, ready to present arms, fire like that, you know. And I had my men there, and they had poured arms and ready to fire. And as you know, Charleston is below sea level in some places, a few feet, and we were standing there, and the grave was over there, and all of a sudden, this fault just pings right up out of the air. And I've got this young man there, and we're ready to do the 21-gun salute, and his feet ain't having nothing to do with this. I mean, he's getting like this, and I'm sitting here threatening his life if he runs. And it was like a cork if you're fishing. And we get back in the van, he said, Sergeant Parks, he said, I don't like this no way, but he said, when they start jumping out of the ground at me, I'm out of here. But that, the vault just popped straight up out of the ground.
He just couldn't hardly.
And he wanted to stay there and do his duty, but his feet wouldn't hardly let him.
His military buried just.
It was not nice.
Oh, me. Cantrell, what you got?
Well, before I tell this, I want to say, God bless the corpsmen of the United States Navy.
100%.
They patched you up. They was there when we was. It don't matter how rough it got, they was there. You know. And but anyway, we pulled out from a Camp Evans.
Now, let me ask you this. Now, you obviously had one that really stuck out in your mind.
Well, this is what I'm gonna tell this
Oh,
on. So it was a corpsman. So I don't Navy mad at me.
Okay,
You know.
I understand. I just want to get that.
Well, they was talking about how tired you get, and you know a lot of times you're saying you just go to sleep. But we left. We had about a 15, 18-hour march from Evans going. Was going up north and set up an L-shaped ambush, and we pulled out, and so we stopped.
Let me get you hold up right there. We're going to get right back to you. Got to go to a break, folks. Don't go away. You ain't going to want to hear it. You miss this right here now.